Hello and welcome back to the next video in the series. So today we're going to be taking a walk from where we left you in the last video, which was the Oddy's Bridge, which is just here, and we're going to be heading that way, which is just behind the camera, all the way down into Stourton in Leeds. So this section here was the last section of the line, the main line anyway, so the line which ran from Rothwell House all the way down to Stourton in Leeds. So this is the last section that we're going to be taking now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to head down there, and I'm going to keep you updated for anything I find or any pictures along the way. So we'll head down that way, we'll get started, and I'll see you very shortly. Okay, so we're making our way down the old trackbed now. But like I said on the last video, this would have been about 45, 50 feet down below where we are now. So this was a giant deep cutting here. So the bridge would have just been behind me there. So that would have been a bridge just across the cutting, right where the hedge is there. And then this would have been really deep here. You can see how wide it is on both sides. So this cutting would have gone, we think, about 50 feet down. Then as it headed this way, it would have got gradually shallower. So it would have started, as the hill goes down towards Stourton, the cutting sides would have started to come down. So it would have eventually, when we get to the bottom of this field down here, it would have been level with the field. Then, because the gradient was so steep, it would have then gone onto an embankment. So that's how extreme it was. It went from a 50-foot cutting to probably a 20-foot high embankment to try and keep the tracks as level as possible. I apologise if the walk is a bit bumpy today. I'm walking through a boggy field and it's just full of tracks and holes and trenches and things like that, so I apologise if the camera's a bit bumpy today. So we're now heading down towards Stourton, and I'll keep you updated as we get further down. Okay, so right about where we are now, you can just see the ground level dropping away towards me. So if you look behind me, you can see it dropping away there, and then it goes all the way down there behind me. So like I said, the cutting would have got gradually shallower as it went down. But right about where I am in a second, we'll be coming to a bridge. Now this bridge was called WEBSTERS Bridge, and it was used for, again, farmers to go from one field to the other. So it was a farmer's bridge, and I have a picture of that bridge, which was very kindly given to me by RAYNER. So I'm going to show you that picture in a second, but I'm going to get into the position where I think the picture was taken, so I can get you before and after shot, so I can try and show you the comparison. So right about where I am now is where this picture would have been taken. So if you look behind me, you can see Haigh Farm just over there. So this picture would have been taken in the 60s, we think, and it's of the line heading down the hill towards Stourton in Leeds. So you can clearly see the farm behind it, and then you can see the deep cutting and the bridge behind it as well. Okay, so I'm heading down the field now towards Stourton, and if you just look in front of me, you can see that it's now a farmer's track that's been heavily excavated. So this would have been an embankment where I'm stood on right now. So as it leveled out up there, it would then made its way on an embankment down here. So this embankment that I'm walking on has been heavily destroyed and manipulated for the farmer's field, but this was the original embankment. And what I'm going to do is show you a picture again of this embankment in a picture in the background. Just behind me over there was the Rothwell Haigh Colliery, and it was called Fanny Pit. So that was just behind me over there. So we'll head down there as well in a second, because there's a branch line that went there as well. So I'll take you down there and show you that as well. So right about here where I am now, there was another crossing of the line. It was called WEBSTERS crossing, and you can just see it behind me there. So that's where the farmers would have crossed it on a level. So again, there was fields either side, and it would have been level at that point, so they could cross into their fields. Now, if you look this way here, so the line would have continued in that direction there, and it would have gone straight across that way there. If you just look over there, so I'm now at the bottom of the field where the line would have run through the middle. I don't know if you can see, but you can see the embankment there, look, which heads this way. So that's the embankment after it came out of the cutting, which was just up there. So it would have gone across this embankment here and headed off in that direction over there, which is where the M1 is now. So obviously the M1 has totally bisected that section of the line. So there's no point in carrying on that way because it's completely vanished now. So when it leaves the farmer's field, it would have then disappeared on the embankment right across towards Stourton. But in the 70s, they started to dismantle that section of the line because there's a lot of heavy industry over there now. And the motorway here was built in the early or mid 90s. The M1A1 link road, as it was called. That was built in the mid 90s to late 90s, I think. So again, that would have destroyed anything that was left. All the embankments and everything totally destroyed, and it was completely leveled, re-landscaped and everything. So there's absolutely nothing remaining of that now. So there's no point going any further than that in the field. So what I'll do, I'll just cover the Rothwell Haigh Colliery here, the Fanny Pit, and then I'll take you over the other side in the car, and we'll go down to the Stourton side and try pick up where the track left off at that side. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so right where I'm stood now is the site of part of the Rothwell Haigh Colliery and the Fanny Pit. So this whole site, all the way back there, is now a country park. It's called Rothwell Country Park. If you can just see to my right here, that's the mainline trains. So that's the mainline services out of Leeds heading east. If you just look down there, you can see we're slightly higher than this line. So where I'm stood right now is an embankment, or a sort of a high up level where the track would have been. Like I said, the colliery was behind the camera, and there would have been numerous lines, branch lines, leading out of here towards me. So all the colliery lines, they would have gone towards me, headed in that direction over there, which we're going to follow right now until it got level with the main line over there. But when it got level with the main line, there was also some rather large sidings as well, which I'm going to show you on a picture right now. So on this picture you can see a large sidings to the right next to the main line. That's just behind the behind me now. So I'm going to try and get as far or as close to that as I can. I don't know how close we're going to get to that because it's so muddy and a lot of it is fenced off with it being actual railway property as well. So I'm not going to cross any fences, but I'm going to head that way and see how far I can get to the actual old sidings as well. So we're going to keep heading down this way. But as you can see, where I was stood a minute ago, this is an embankment here, look. So there's the main line over there, and this is an embankment. So we're going to head off in this direction and try find the sidings, or where the line joined the main line. Okay, so we're now right next to the main line. Here, look, just behind me. And you can see it heading that way. Underneath the M1, just behind me there. So this is the main line, like I said. And this is as close as I can get to the main line. I wouldn't want to get any closer. But just down here on the right, so this would have all been sidings and branch lines and things like that. Just down here, I don't know if you can see, but there again, there are some old railway sleepers. I mean, these could be from the mainline track here. Or they could have been from the old colliery tracks, so that you can even see the bolts in them, look. Still got the bolt there. Okay, so we'll press on and carry on up the line to where the sidings were and see if there's anything left down there. So I'm still walking on the colliery line, right towards where it would have joined the East and West Yorkshire Union Railway and the main line as well, because it was right at the same point. And it's now got lower, so we're now level with the main line. So it's somewhere around here, not far off, where it would have probably merged on this side. Now, we were on an embankment, we're now in a cutting. We've got the main line to the right and a cutting just to the left there, or an embankment should I say, to the left there. So I'm going to keep pressing on and see how far I can get, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've reached the furthest point I can go now this way. So just behind me is the M1. That's where the East and West Yorkshire Union Railway would have carried on, and an embankment where the M1 is now. So just to my right is the embankment for the colliery line. To my left is the main line, and the East and West Yorkshire Union Railway would have been just the other side of this embankment here. But just behind me is the M1 right there, so I can't go any further than that because I'll be on the motorway or on the mainline track. So I'm going to head back this way now into the colliery, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try show you any branch lines or any rail lines that remain in the colliery, because I'm told there are some still there. So I'm going to see what I can find up in the colliery, and then we'll carry on and move on down to Stourton. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I'm right in the middle of where the colliery would have been. So this is Fanny Pit here. Just behind me there's a sculpture or a memorial. This is a memorial towards the miners and the people who died on the colliery. Now I'd love to read you something about it, but the actual description stone or the plaque is gone, so I can't read you anything. But if you look at the nice sculpture there, now I don't know, with it being a circle, would this have been the pit head, or could it have been the shaft down there? I don't know. It looks like it could be in a good spot for it. I mean, there was plenty around here anyway. There wasn't just one, there was many shafts, but it looks like a perfect spot for one, if any. It's covered in big slabs and concrete, so you never know. Could have well been. Okay, so we're still in the colliery site, and I've just headed to the part where the railway lines, the sidings, used to come in from the embankment that I was on earlier. They used to supply the colliery, so they would have come in into like a sidings area, and there was an engine shed, I think, as well. And this is right where it was here. And as you can see, well, you probably can't see unless I put you down a bit closer, but there are still some railway lines there. There's still some rails in the ground. Can you see that? And even cross over here, look. So there are some rails. Now, on the East and West Yorkshire Union Railway, there aren't many rails left at all. There's only 2, maybe 3 places that I know of where there are rails left. Now technically this was the colliery branch, but it was still part of the East West Yorkshire Union Railway because it was connected and it was built for that reason. So yeah, you can see it there, look. It runs down in that direction there, which is where we were earlier. So we were right down there in the distance on the embankment. So there's two lines here, look, there's one on the left there and there's one here. There would have been more, but obviously it's all been levelled and turned into a country park now. But yeah, these are one of very few lines that remain from the East West Yorkshire Union Railway. There's plenty of track bed, but not many railway lines. So in the the Robin Hood Colliery video, I'll show you the other one that I'm aware of, the other piece of track that remains, and it's only a tiny bit, but I'll show you where that is. So that'll be in the Rothwell, sorry I keep saying Rothwell, so that'll be in the Robin Hood Colliery video. Okay, so we've reached the end of this video. So we've covered the Stourton Incline and the colliery section as well. So in the next video, join me, and I'm going to head the other side of the motorway and we're going to look at that section there. So we're going to be looking at the Cinder Oven Bridge and the viaduct that was there, all the way over to where the site of the Stourton Station was. So join me in the next one when we head that way. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I'm sorry that I'm having to split it up into parts, but I just didn't want you to miss out on anything. I want you to see what I'm seeing, so it's pointless me just showing you the highlights because there's not much detail or background to that, so I want you to see how I find things. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give us a like on the video and a subscribe to the channel as well. That'll be absolutely fantastic. And I'll see you in the next part when we head down to the site of the Stourton Station.